Let's talk about some horror news today because we got a lot, especially Curry Barker is really on a roll, it seems, because there is a lot on his plate currently. And I'm excited to see that because I think Curry Barker is a tremendous filmmaker and I'm curious to see what he does next. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Let's get into some of the horror news that you definitely want to be excited for. So let's talk about Dead by Daylight finally getting an adaptation with a director. And that director is the director of The Damned, Thordo Paulson. And he has been tapped to make this film that is being written by David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick and Alexander Aja. And we of course have Blumhouse here. We have Atomic Monster. They have the director. It's a go. We are getting it. This was announced on Dead by Daylight's 10th anniversary celebration and I'm excited. Production goes into effect next year, hopefully maybe an end of year release by the fall. That would definitely be exciting. I don't know where they're going with it. I just am curious as somebody who's played Dead by Daylight for a very consistent time, like ever since it was released. I haven't played as much recently. I just come back for the events, which holy events we have a lot, even Terrifier 3 coming to Dead by Daylight, so super excited about that. But that is what we have so far in the Dead by Daylight movie that has been in the works for a long time, it seems, but it seems that we are almost there, so very good news right there. Speaking of, Obsession 2 is apparently on the way, maybe in a couple of years, according to Curry Barker, who about a month ago said he would be open to the idea of making an adaptation that was more of an anthology series with filmmakers taking a go at the One Wish Willow. Well, now he has something else to say. He says that he is thinking about what's next. According to this new Hollywood Reporter interview, he said, "I have a lot to weigh, and that's where the stress really comes from." So Barker says, "I don't want to go straight into Obsession 2. I have such a cool idea for it that I won't say. I'm not saying it has to be 5-6 years from now, but I think people would just be as excited for it if it came down a little down the road. It's a whirlwind and I'm trying to figure it out." So of course, Obsession 2, they are planning it. It's going to happen. $300 million almost at the box office, less than $1 million budget, just $17 million for Focus to acquire it. They haven't spent a dime on this to make a ton of money. They are going to make Obsession 2. Now, of course, Barker right now is currently wrapping up Anything But Ghost. He has the Texas Chainsaw Massacre next. And amongst other things, he has talked about making his other shorts into films, which we'll get to in a bit. I would be open to Obsession 2. I am definitely curious what they want to do with it. I feel like it just feels like a cash grab, but it's Hollywood, baby. It's Hollywood. It's going to happen. And we'll see what happens. You let me know. Obsession 2, do you want it? Can they keep it? Or are you just like, bro, give us something new? But speaking of Curry Barker, he has talked about making his other short films into feature-length films, and this is what he had to say about that. He says, "The Chair could definitely be a horror film. I think eventually it would be cool to bring a feature version of the Haunted Chair story to life. Milk and Cereal is probably going to happen as a film." Now, we do know, of course, from the stories, if you've been keeping up with Barker's rise to Hollywood, that The Chair was actually what the original production company wanted to do, not Obsession, but Barker said, "Hold on, I have Obsession, and I think it's going to be great." So it just seems that The Chair was definitely going to be in the works. You can find it on YouTube, the short. But Milk and Cereal happening was something I thought was interesting because Milk and Cereal almost feels like a feature length, and this is what he said. "I wonder if there's an opportunity to bring somebody else onto Milk and Cereal and I'll produce, but not necessarily direct." So I am curious to see what Barker does next. Like I said, Anything But Ghost sounds great. I'm excited for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot, so we'll see. Milk and Cereal I thought was a very fantastic feature. I talked about it here, and you can go check that out. But speaking of the YouTube to filmmaker pipeline that we are seeing Hollywood trying to replicate again, which I don't think they will replicate it, we are hearing that Dolly director, who Dolly was a pretty great film, I will say, is interested in actually doing a feature film. And the 12-minute short Alone Time we will be seeing turned now into a feature according to Deadline, and this is going to be after the short turned viral and now becomes a feature, which follows Ann Saunders, who is trying to construct her life after a personal loss. It says, seeking refuge from a collapsing relationship and deteriorating family situation and mounting emotional trauma, Anne reluctantly joins her closest friends on a remote camping trip deep in the Adirondack wilderness. When her friends mysteriously disappear, Anne becomes convinced that an unseen figure is stalking her through the forest. What begins as a survival nightmare slowly transforms into something far more disturbing as fractured memories, conflicting realities, and hidden truth force Anne to confront the possibility that the greatest threat may not be lurking in the woods at all, but buried deep within her own psyche. we shall see what this will look like, and I would be interested. I liked a lot about Dolly that we saw, and we'll see. We will see. But let me know your thoughts, your opinions on everything we discussed today. Are you excited to see Obsession 2? Do you think like they gotta slow their roll? What do you think about Milk and Cereal being turned into a feature? That's one that I'm kind of like in the air with, like, I don't know. I feel like they already did what they needed to do there. Dead by Daylight as a movie, a little bit too late, or what do you think? And also this whole new idea with YouTubers to filmmakers. But one last thing actually is that Evil Dead Burn will have a director's cut that's going to be way more violent according to the director. So apparently they've cut a couple of things here. He says there is a scene that is not R-rated. It's a really hard scene and I have to cut it, unfortunately. So you just won't experience as brutally as it is right now because I need to have the R-rated movie. So we're trying to find a good balance. The director cut will be way more violent than what we will have in theater, and they're telling you go buy that. I just don't get this right now. Saying it this far off, I feel like it's a little bit of a cheap marketing. And just like, bro, let us see the movie first. Let us see the movie. It's probably good. And then now you're saying this, and it's kind of making me a little bit worried. But nonetheless, I'm excited for Evil Dead Burn. Go check out our videos on Evil Dead I Jessica, as well as the trailer breakdowns. And we will have some more videos leading up into the film that comes out next month. But I'm excited. A lot of good horror stuff coming out recently. It's a great start to the week, and we will talk more. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you are following us wherever you can, whether it's on TikTok, Letterboxd, Instagram. You can find it all throughout. And make sure that you tell us your opinions in the comments down below. I read all of the comments. I try to get to as many comments as I can. It's been harder lately. I'm trying to get back into the groove of things. But make sure you follow us wherever you can. Really are trying to grow throughout, and we got a lot of amazing stuff coming your way. Don't miss out on it. I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe. Stay positive.
William, my sweet boy. I would give anything for us to be together again.
My grandfather believed the devil would return. If anyone read from the Book of the Dead,